Holy shit, Katie, it's been a week. Oh my god.
Yes.
We're recording on a Monday because I spent the last 48 hours writing. Oh shit, I got 271 pages out in the last 48 hours.
That sounds awful.
Bled from the veins of this artist, this podcaster who isn't really an artist. It's like, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, oh my god, how's your week been?
Oh, weird. Weird week.
Weird.
Weird week.
Well, I mean, it's weird. We fucking did a special report.
Too? Yeah.
It was a full moon on July 4th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, some extra weirdness happened on that night for me.
Yeah.
No, it's just not really weird stuff, just extra stress.
Yeah.
But oh shit, what was I gonna say?
It also rained here the last couple days, and it hasn't rained in like a long time, like over a month easily, and so it's kind of been like a bummer.
Florida.
So
yeah,
I haven't gone
to
the beach. It's bumming me out.
Well, that's probably better for you because going to the beach was obviously a hardship, right? So you got to relax and stay home. Yay!
Yeah, it didn't feel good. You know, sometimes it doesn't feel as good as other times. Sometimes you're like, oh, I need this. And other times you're like, ooh, I feel yucky. I want to leave. It was like
I'm
that.
in Ohio. I tain't the foggiest. Yeah, but we had a special report that we reported on, what was that?
Yes.
Did we do that on Thursday?
I think it went out Thursday night.
When Jizzy got arrested?
Yes. And they're going to keep her at the same prison, huh? Interesting. Their cameras don't even work.
And hard segue. Do you know who is 2 degrees removed, maybe not even, from Ghislaine Maxwell?
Tell me.
Of course. Kanye West. I say that because Trump was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. We know this. And Kanye West is friends with Trump.
There, boom.
I heard somebody say that his candidacy would pull voters away from Biden, and that is just ridiculous. Like, there are no Biden voters that would vote for Kanye. I don't see that happening. I mean, maybe possibly, but if anything, they would pull him from Trump or Joe Jorgensen.
Oh,
Yay,
man.
third party.
That's a weird one. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. That's why I like to go to the beach and pretend like it's not happening. So.
Well, I mean, no, it's basically what Kanye's presidency would be like anyway. Like, okay, so I mean, we are descending into that movie. Where they feed Gatorade to plants and shit.
What?
Idiocracy.
Oh,
the movie Idiocrazy. We're descending into the movie Idiocracy, and Terry Crews. You know Terry Crews, the Old Spice guy, the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He plays the president, and obviously an actor of the actual person is an idealized version, and I do see Terry Crews as an idealized version of Kanye West. Like, there, even as the idiot presidency he was, just that it too is an idealized version of anything Kanye West would be as a president. So we don't need that shit.
Well, I feel like he, if anyone shows signs of being MK Ultra, it is that guy. It looks like he malfunctions a lot. So, I don't know.
What? Okay, so I'm not clear on MK Ultra as a verb.
No.
What's that mean? Or I'm not a verb, as an adjective, like somebody's been MK Ultra'd. No, that's a verb, right?
You've been brainwashed. I mean, programmed. Like programmed. And
you think Kanye West is a Manchurian Candidate type thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
worst choice for a Manchurian Candidate ever. Like, not like if anybody was going to be, I think it would be like Chelsea Clinton. Maybe the Clinton name is too tainted, but like she would be ideal for like that position. Anyway, speaking of Manchurian Candidates, Christopher Columbus was not one.
Sure enough.
Oh, but before we get into that, this is the Higher Minds podcast. I'm Papa Darby.
I'm Katie.
Yay. We're exhausted from months of, I guess, beach going. Because that sucks.
I feel like we've just had like weeks of months instead of months of weeks.
But one of the biggest news, at least some of my favorite news lately, has been the renaming of Columbus, Ohio, which I'm still all for. And why? Well, and the reason why is something that I'd like to talk to you about today. It's Christopher Columbus.
It all's coming together, huh?
It is.
So
they were just actually what inspired this topic was they tore down Christopher Columbus statue in Columbus, Ohio, last week. Yeah, so I was like, that's when I texted you, and I was like, hey, let's switch it to good old CC.
I knew some statues were coming down, but I did not. That's all the more I know about it. I just have been really unplugged from everything the last couple weeks.
I get that. Like, it's...
And I'm real close to detaching further. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when it changes who you are, like, you gotta step away. And I'm finding I want to say things. I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean?
I am there.
I love...
Oh, come on over. The water's fine. saying angry shit at dumbasses it's a good time.
Yeah, but my side
not
is
anybody
not
who's listening to this is not a
popular.
dumbass, obviously.
So I just
if you're not listening to this,
different...
you're a dumbass. Just so you know.
Yeah, suckers. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm feeling like maybe I should step back. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling.
I empathize entirely. I'm just viscerally drawn to what's going on. Like, I just can't help but continue to pay attention.
I know. I should. These are
which is why we're taking a historical view and yeah.
We'll learn some things. It'll be great.
Yeah. We're gonna take a step back from current atrocities and focus on ancient atrocities.
Past ones.
Yeah.
Take
it away, Katie.
Boom. So 1451, sometime before October 31st,
Christopher Columbus got a gun. Because we have to rhyme all the years now, right?
Is that a thing? Is that also happening now in the news?
In the year 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Oh.
You've never heard that saying?
Yeah, it's been a long time though.
1491, Christopher Columbus got a gun.
Oh my gosh, maybe I don't remember. I was not.
Chris Columbus got a gun.
That's a good one. That's my favorite so far. So, all right. Anyways, he was born sometime before. The dates are really foggy. Like the timelines are a little sketchy. Like they don't have a lot of specifics of when he was born, when his wife died, like all kinds of stuff.
Well, the reason for that, the reason for that is actually everything that we know, as far as what happened to Christopher Columbus contemporaneously, that he wrote down personally, all comes from a paraphrased version of his actual diary. Like his diary got lost in, I forget, some year pretty recently actually, and sorry, his diary got lost for all time, but the manuscript of the paraphrasing of his diary that recently got lost. So this is like what we know about him, and this information comes from a copy of a copy and from other people living at the time that kind of corroborated some of
So
it.
just word of mouth kind of deal. Telephone game, just like the Bible. No one wants to hear that.
Oh, the Bible. Yeah, this is actually what we have is much better preserved than what the Bible is.
Oh boy. So his dad, middle class wool weaver, owned a cheese stand. Sounds like a solid dude. Just a regular
cheese
guy.
stand owner. Like that
Did
sounds
both?
like he got made fun of in school. Your dad's a wool weaver cheese stand.
It sounds like I'd have sweet sweaters and a lot of cheese, so that feels like a win to me, personally.
I mean, practically, yeah. That's a practical move, but it's just easy to make fun of because kids are stupid and
kids are mean. Why are
Not
kids
all.
so mean? God,
Some adults are mean too.
they are. Oof. Kanye West company received millions in pandemic money. That just hit. So maybe that's why he's running for presidency. He's got that cash now.
The way that they're treating businesses as opposed to individuals is insane. Like,
I have friends who still haven't gotten their unemployment yet. Yikes.
And they're cutting that shit off now.
I know.
I mean, they should get their back pay and everything.
To fall apart.
I know. But they're giving businesses more money. So small businesses more money.
Are they?
It's and that's bipartisan too. Like the Democrats and Republicans agree on both points. So
this sucks. Okay. Sorry for the distraction. 1473. Christopher Columbus at the age 22.
Christopher Columbus took a wee. I'm gonna do that the whole time.
Okay, I'm glad I'm prepared for it now. He started a business agent for some different families, some well-off families, which opened up a lot of opportunities for him and was able to travel a lot. So it was already kind of his thing. In 1477...
Christopher Columbus walked into a 7-Eleven. That was a horrible one.
Ooh, that
move
one.
on. Forget I said that one. Just move on.
Erase. So 1477, his brother worked and lived in Lisbon.
Oh Jesus! Christopher
Portugal.
Columbus. Something about heaven. I don't know. Portugal. Yes.
Yeah, heaven was what I thought, but I was like, well, 11's okay.
Lucky number 11, which is never mind. Just another way to say 7. Writing 7 with Slevin is really lazy. Anyway, please. We can't get through this.
And then I lose my spot because I write really big. So his brother lived in Lisbon, Portugal, worked and lived there, and so he relocated there. And they were trading for the those families. And this is where the timeline gets a little sketchy because there's like 8 years-ish that go by. He marries a daughter of the governor. And no one knows why or how because he was just like a regular old guy. So maybe it really was just like the connections he had. And then...
He just slanged that thing well.
Possibly. Because within a year, he had his first son.
Yep.
Who was born in 1479-ish. I don't know if you want to every year or okay.
No, I'm sick of it already.
Just the time. Okay. Phew. Just kidding. You're doing great. So that took us to 1480-ish. During
Christopher Columbus is a bitch.
We're getting there. So 1482 to 1485. During these years, he traveled a lot, trading along the coast of West Africa. While away, his wife dies. Bummer. So that sucks. No one knows when or how, but she died in approximately 85. While he was away, he returned, settled her
That's
estates.
because that's what people did most of the time then. Like, generally, you were just in some process of dying. Like, you got a toothache.
From the bubonic
you're about to
plague.
die. From the bubonic plague. you got a headache, they open up your head and shit, you're gonna die. You're gonna die of demons. Like,
you go outside without a mask, you're gonna die.
Yes, most people were in various stages of dying. That's what I was trying to say.
That's a bummer. So he settled her estates and took their son Diego on him with his travels. 1487.
Go, Diego, go.
Maybe that's why Dora the Explorer's little purple pal, little monkey, was called Diego. He held the map.
No, Diego was her cousin. You're talking about Boots.
Shit. Oh, man.
What the fuck? Oh, my God.
All right, well, that wasn't my show,
disappointed.
clearly. Well, I mean, there was no one in that age bracket to have a reason to watch that. So.
Oh, you don't watch Dora parody porn? Me either.
But I might now. Let's check out Boots then. Just kidding. 1487. He, a couple years after his wife dies, 2 years to be exact, he finds himself a mistress. Likely met her, an orphan, aged 22, or no, 20, not even 22, 20, while in Cordoba, a popular gathering site for merchants. Sometime after
for
that,
singles who like to mingle, is that the 1400s
well, he
version?
actually slung that thing again because he had a second son in that 2 years. Fernando. That's fun to say. Is that the name from Elf? And he meets at his dad's work. He's like, Fernando. The guy that works the desk outside his dad's office. Oh my God. That movie's so
hate
funny.
that fucking movie.
What?
So much. That movie can fucking eat it.
Why?
Why?
I need to know.
I dislike most Will Ferrell shit. But that one is just like candy, saccharine, sweet Will Ferrell grossness.
I love Christmas so much. It's so good.
I mean, Christmas is fine, but it's like a sugar enema.
I'm judging you so hard right now.
At least I know who the fuck Diego is. It's your cousin, by the way. So fucking eat.
At least I had the right show and the right name, so I was not that far off. You don't like a Christmas classic, so 1492.
All right. Christmas classic, Die Hard. Yeah. All right. 1492.
The big voyage begins. So.
Oh yeah.
This one's beefier. The throughout.
And this is where I kind of come in. Like I'll come in October. And the part that I'm bringing is really why he's such a fucker. Like why his statues need to be torn down.
Fair enough.
There was the reason that he was elevated to such a level was, oh fuck, I should have written researched this part, but I read this a little while ago. There was a historian who like somehow heard his story and wrote his story, at least an idealized version of it for I think Italian American propaganda, and so like everything, all the bad stuff, like a lot of white people stuff, was forgotten.
Casserole. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Mayo. But yeah, so a lot of the bad shit was just swept away, and like the historian at the people around the time that particular story, and I forget who the fuck it was, when he wrote that, Christopher Columbus was kind of an obscure figure. Like there was a lot of people coming back and forth, and people had known that Leif Erikson had been here by that point, like way before Christopher Columbus ever was.
Well,
like they knew that he wasn't the discoverer of America, but like Santa Claus, but it's kind of the same thing that happened with the current like Coca-Cola Santa Claus that we know of now. Like that wasn't at all the original version, but for reasons of propaganda, this version took hold and kind of is what we understand now. But now, you know, we're coming to an age of enlightenment again or something, maybe. I don't know, maybe. And we're realizing that, yeah, he was a fucko.
Yeah. So throughout 1480 was filled with plans to sail to Asia. That was like his main goal for himself, I guess. Sea passage was needed because a lot of it was just done on the Satin train. I meant to look that up. I did not know what that was. Do you?
The Satin train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like just
train man out of satin.
Oh, I'm like, man, you really know? I feel dumb.
No. It's I think it was like the oh fuck.
Like a road?
That one Chinese trail, the spice trail. It's just a trade route.
Gotcha. Anyways, some sea passage was needed, they thought. In April, it wasn't until April of 1492 that an agreement with the Spanish crown was made. And then August 3rd of 92, he set off with 3 ships and sailed to the Canary Islands, and then onward for 5 weeks until they hit some land, which is now the Bahamas. So he called it Bahamas. He called it San Salvador, and the natives called it something completely different. So
that we don't know of because fuck them.
Well, I can't
now
say
we call it San Salvador.
So they kind of traveled there. So you know something, just to go back, I could bring it up when I read it, but I'm going to do it now. When you said obviously he wasn't the first to like find all these places, they stopped at an island and stocked up, but he said that he discovered it. And you're like, wait a minute, if you stocked up, wasn't someone already there? I don't understand.
Right. Not real people, though.
Yeah, they don't count.
People like animals that you can put your
natives. Yeah. Why are people so awful? So they just traveled along the northeast coast of Cuba, the north coast of Hispaniola, continued sailing.
Hispaniola. You have to say that with your fingers.
I did, but they're behind this pillow. Just kidding, I did not.
No, I did. Totally.
So they continued sailing the coast before making his final stop in January of 93 of the Bay of Rincon, northeast Hispaniola. How do I just say it?
Hispaniola.
So that kind of seemed to be the main place to be and where they started settling some things. So getting back to Spain was a little tricky. There was some storms. And
Wait. I'm going to jump in there because I jump in October of that year.
Oh, okay. And I'm already in January.
Yeah. I go into January too.
Okay.
But because I talk a little bit about what happened upon his return. So my sources are AmericanYop.com, HistoryIsAWeapon.com, and Wikipedia, of course, and AmericanJourneys.org. I just kind of want to say, like, so I got most of this excerpts directly from his journal, or what we now consider was his direct word. But it kind of reads like, I want to say that it reads like a guy, it was written by a guy who really wants to hit home how important he was. Like, it seems like he assumes that after you read his diary, you're going to be a hardcore Christopher Columbus fan.
Yeah, just like the titles of his books say that.
He liked him a lot. But so
yeah, he did.
On October 11th of 1492, he wrote what follows is the actual word of the admiral in his book of the first navigation and discoveries of the Indies. He says that we might form great friendship, for I knew that there were people who could be more easily freed and converted to our holy family, to our holy faith by love than by force, gave to some of them red caps and glass beads to put round their necks, and many other things of little value. He also wasn't a great writer. which gave them great pleasure and made them so much our friends that it was a marvel to see. They afterwards came to the ship's boats where we were swimming and bringing us parrots, cotton threads in skeins, darts, and other things. We exchanged them for things that we gave, and we exchanged them for things that we gave them, such as glass beads and small bells. In fine, we took all and gave what they had with goodwill. So they're giving gifts in order to ease these people into a sense of security, thereby lowering their guard, making them more vulnerable to subjugation. I just want to say that he refers to himself as the admiral in the third person as the admiral. So he doesn't even refer to himself in the third person. He refers to his title, his self-given title, in the third person, like a fucking asshole. So, continuing on that day, he says, they go as naked as when their mothers bore them, so do the women. Although I did not see more than one girl, all I saw were youths none more than 30 years of age. They were all very well made, with very handsome bodies and very good countenances. I'm not sure what good countenances is, and that's why I added that excerpt. And I think he's saying these pretty men are hung. So neither of them, and particularly to the women, this admiration of these people's bodies lead to rampant sexual assault and rape and murder and all sorts of shit. They never carry nor know anything of arms, for I showed them swords and they took them up by the blade and cut themselves through ignorance. So he's taking special note that they were much less militarily advanced, like the virus Europeans that they are. He goes on to say, I saw some of them with marks of wounds on their bodies, and I made signs to ask what it was, and they gave me to understand that people from other adjacent islands came with the intention of seizing them, and that they defended themselves. So this is a clear acknowledgement that they knew that these people were sovereign people who vigorously opposed being taken against their will. He continues to say that they were good servants and intelligent, for I observed that they quickly took in what was said of them, and I believe that they would easily be made Christians, as it appeared to me they had no religion. In fact, they did have religion. It's just not anything that isn't in their worldview doesn't exist and isn't worthy of existence. He says, Our Lord, please, will take hence at the time of my departure 6 natives for your highness, that they may learn to speak. These people spoke, just not his language, which was Portuguese. Or Portuguese or Italian or Spanish. One of the three. I don't know when. He knew all 3 of those languages.
I was going to say probably all of them.
Yeah. He says, I saw no beast of any kind except parrots on this island. Above is the word of the admiral. What a fucking douche. Anyway, so this is further acknowledgement of their intelligence, followed by expressing their intent to subjugate the natives. So on October 14th, this is 3 days later, he says, these people are very simple as regards to the use of arms. As your highness will see from the 7 that I caused to be taken to bring home and to learn our language in return, unless your highness should order them to be brought to Castile, or to be kept as captives on the same island. For with 50 men, they can all be subjugated and made to do what is required of them. Do I have to say anything? Like, he followed through on his plan to kidnap 7 people. And then he's, making plans to literally, he says, subjugate. So, wow. December 25th, where were you?
January. Getting ready to head into January.
So Christmas Day, December 25th, 1492. He writes, the king wept. The king is the, he's talking about the leader of the island. He wept when he heard the news, he says he wept when he heard the news and sent all those people with large canoes to unload the ship. This was done, and they landed all there was between decks in such a short time. Such was the great promptitude and diligence shown by that king. He himself, with brothers and relations, was actively assisting, as well as in the ships, as in the care of the property when it landed, that all might be properly guarded. So what happened was one of Christopher Columbus' ships wrecked because one of the helmsmen got drunk, passed out, and let a little kid steer it.
Why was there a little kid on the boat?
Yeah, that weirds me out. Like, they go on to say, like, I think this kid was like 9 or something. Why? That's fucking weird.
The original
and so
Lolita.
Oh God. No, I mean, it happened way before that too. I mean, the Catholics were already well established by this point.
I mean, even in the Bible, like, they all had little boys hanging around, and that is awful. Yeah. I don't know why I keep bringing up the Bible. Sorry, I love Jesus. I don't know what's happening.
There's one story in the Old Testament that I forget where it is. It's when the Israelites split into 13 tribes, and they're warring, and there's chaos and everything. And a father offers one of his 7 daughters to a mob of men who come rape him. So he says, "Don't rape me, come rape my daughter." So he gives them to her, and they return her dead to his doorstep the next day, and he cuts her up into pieces and sends those pieces to the different leaders of the 13 tribes.
Wow.
The Bible is fucked up.
It surely is. It surely is.
That's towards the end. I forget. End of Genesis, maybe. I forget.
It's a serious book.
Yeah, they don't fuck around. So they go on to rape and pillage and arrive in Portugal sometime around February. Thereupon, they're beset by the local law, and several of their crew members get arrested because he hired criminals to man his ships, which is one of the reasons why.
You know what? They still do that. They still do that.
There are pirates, yeah. I mean, essentially, these people were pirates.
But it seems like even like on all it's like a well-known fact down here. Any shrimpers, anyone who goes out like that, they're all just on drugs, alcoholics. I mean, it's just like a thing down here. I'm like, is that just what we do? Boat help are just bad people? I don't understand.
I mean, we already made it to Florida. What else is there to do?
I mean,
it's such a heaven utopia there.
That's inaccurate.
All right, so I have like I'll finish what the rest I have after you continue, because I just basically have a list of specific things that he did that were awful.
Okay.
So you can continue.
All right. So I was right around. Oh, okay. Same. Those weren't words. Getting back to Spain was hard because of storms. That's where I was at. So his trip, voyage, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, ended in Lisbon in March of 1493. Before going back, so a couple weeks.
He transported himself. He went through the Bermuda Triangle. Transported himself 500 years in the future.
It was a weird couple weeks, and then he came back.
Met Rod Serling. Yeah.
So, he found new lands, and word began to spread in Europe once he got back.
He ran up to him and he said, "Mine."
I discovered this.
Everything.
I see it. He must have literally sat like perched up in that little bucket up top and was just like, "Oh, I see it, mine." Like literally.
The nest.
Yeah.
Basically. You said, "Wait, there's no flags." Yeah, that's mine.
I don't see anything. Quick, burn the bodies. Like, that's what I feel like is happening. So 1493. Oh, I'll touch on these. Voyage number 2. September, he tried again with 17 ships and 1,200 men. Enough supplies to establish some colonies. Came across various islands, naming them Dominica, Guadalupe, lots of things like that. Spent time there. Yeah, he liked that one. He spent a couple weeks there in November. The route isn't certain, but is said to have sighted and named several islands. So he just spotted them along the way, named them, and decided he had found them.
Hey, what's your name? Joe? No, it's Tanisha. We're calling you Tanisha now. No, it's Joe. No, it's Tanisha. Shut up, Tanisha.
So he returned to Hispaniola, but his fort and the people he had left there were dead, and the fort was gone, completely destroyed. So the savages must have done it.
Or it's like an American Horror Story type situation.
Is it?
The ghost of their sins came back and ate them.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I like to think that that's what happened.
I bet that tastes
Roanoke
awful.
style.
Sin can't taste good. Well, that's not true.
Well, I mean, dogs eat poop and they seem to love it.
Yeah, because dogs.
If you're the ghost of a sin, like that might taste great to you. Actually, no, I love the way sinning tastes.
I was gonna say sin. I'd take that back immediately.
Yeah, now that I think about it.
You're right. In a broader scope of things. Anywho, later in November, he settled at La Isabela before returning to Spain, which is now the Dominican Republic. He also thought that was his. 1498, a third voyage.
Christopher Columbus, the one we hate.
Yeah. This is also when he discovers Central America. So May, he left with 6 ships. 3 went to Hispaniola with supplies for the settlers there, and then he took the other 3 south of those islands this time. Coming across the Atlantic, visiting the Canary Islands and Cape Verde, Columbus discovered what is known now as the compass variation. I really read about that for a split second because I was like, how did this motherfucker come up with a magnet system to tell, you know what I mean, direction?
Oh, no, it's not that he came up with it. It's so you're talking about magnetic declination, and not very many sailors, and it's a common calculation that sailors do. And from the point that he was, most sailors traveled east, and not too many traveled west. When he traveled west, he tried to use the same method as the other sailors, but realized it worked in reverse. And so he just was the one accredited for noticing it.
Okay, well, that's weird. Either way, I feel like he doesn't deserve anything, so maybe I'm just struggling with anything that he claims is his.
Oh, he can't be the first one to have noticed that. It's just
the first one.
He wrote it down, I guess, first or something.
Because he was a bitch and kept a diary.
He's a bitch.
So after being stranded with little water, he and his crew headed back to Hispaniola, but spotted Trinidad. So for the first time, and this is where I was like, wait, what? Spotted
Which
it
means 3 kneedads, by the way.
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Okay, but it says he spotted Trinidad for the first time, stocked up there, and explored the Gulf. How do you stock up somewhere that has never been discovered? I don't know.
I discovered these people
their water bottles.
I discovered these barrel trees.
I saw you from far away. I discovered you.
I discovered these people were farming.
That's funny. What a jerk. He stocked up there and explored the Gulf of Paria. Don't know if I said that right. This is when he finally hit South America. After lots of exploring, he returned to Hispaniola. Health not so great. The Spanish men that he left there rebelled against him. This is where it starts getting interesting, huh?
Because they were pirates.
And there was a lot of drama. That was the exact wording, and I thought it was funny. A lot of drama.
I just don't. I feel like you don't like me. Just as a person.
Is this because I call myself in third person? Oh, just signing it like that is so weird. I'll do it. So eventually he made peace with them by surrendering to arrest in 1500. The crown removed him as a governor and he was imprisoned. Interesting. I don't even know that I ever knew that.
Yeah, he was. What were the charges? Like, I forget what were the charges?
I didn't write them down. because I thought I would.
It was something
surely...
like fraud or some shit like that.
Yeah, I definitely should have wrote that down. Seems pretty important.
Like so, is that what you got?
I know I have 2 more little pages. So there was a 4th and final voyage in 1502. Some researcher had led him to embark in one more voyage in search of the Strait of Malacca. I'm making a lot of these pronunciations up. To the Indian Ocean. So they wanted like a strait, like a waterway to get, you know what I mean?
Not like a not gay, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. So his brother and youngest son,
Fernando. You a straight, you a gay. Being gay is absolutely okay. You're not a gay. You're a person who happens to be gay.
So his brother and his youngest son, Fernando, went sailing several islands, sighted the Cayman Islands, got caught in a major storm, and found himself and his crew stranded in Jamaica. Is it the worst place to be stranded? I don't know. Where they is like, well, I guess all these islands are tropical feeling. It wasn't any more special. So he eventually returned to Spain in November of 1504. And then after that,
Christopher Columbus as a whore.
Yeah. So after that, then it was just he wrote 2 books, a book of privileges and a book of prophecies. He became super, super religious, maybe even more so than before, I guess. And then he continued to argue with the Spanish, thinking that he was owed rewards, a percentage of profits made off the New World were promised to him, and he didn't get them because that was before he was stripped of his governor title, and then he died in 1506. And we celebrate him the 2nd Monday of every October, so that's weird.
And what do we learn from this lesson?
He's a
can't trust the government.
Yeah, that's a truth as far back as it goes. And they all like kids. That's so weird.
Speaking of which, so I have a short blurbs about his atrocities, some specific atrocities. So settlers under Columbus sold 9 and 10-year-old girls into sexual slavery. This one he admitted himself in a letter to Doña Juana de la Torre.
Don't you wanna?
Doña Juana de la Torre.
No wonder.
A friend of the Spanish queen. There are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 are now in demand, and for all ages, a good price must be paid. What a fucking sicko. He said, it says, Indian slaves were beheaded when their Spanish captors couldn't be bothered to untie them. Benjamin Keene, a historian of the Spanish conquest of the Americas, noted that multiple sources confirm accounts of exhausted Indian carriers chained by the neck, whose heads the Spaniards severed from their bodies so they would not have to stop to untie them, because they're assholes.
Crazy.
Columbus kidnapped and enslaved more than 1,000 people in Hispaniola. According to Cuneo, Columbus ordered 1,500 men and women seized, letting 400 go and condemning 500 to be sent to Spain, and another 600 to be enslaved by Spanish men remaining on the island. About 200 of the 500 sent to Spain died on the voyage and were thrown by the Spanish into the Atlantic. Columbus forced Indians to collect gold for him or else die. Columbus ordered every Indian over 14 to give a large quantity of gold to the Spanish on pain of death. Those in regions without much gold were allowed to give cotton instead. Participants in the system were given a stamped copper or a brass token to wear around their necks in what became a symbol of intolerable shame. So they hated themselves for being subjugated, which I get. Columbus kidnapped a Carib woman and gave her to a crew member to rape. Bergreen quotes Michel de Cuneo. Bergreen quotes Michel de Cuneo, who participated in Columbus's second expedition to the Americas. While I was in the boat, I captured a very beautiful woman whom the Lord Admiral Columbus gave to me. When I had taken her to my cabin, she was naked, as was their custom. I was filled with a desire to take my pleasure with her and attempted to satisfy my desire. She was unwilling, and so treated me with her nails, and I wish I never had begun. So she's fighting to the death about this. I then took a piece of robe and whipped her soundly. And she let forth such incredible screams that you would not have believed your ears. Eventually, we came to such terms, I assure you, that you would have thought she had been brought up by a school for whores. So, so he's saying, yeah, she fought like a motherfucker, but she eventually agreed. She was cool with it after a while, and she was good at it.
Unconscious. It was totally fine.
Yeah.
What the heck?
The Bill Cosby School of Dating.
Oof. Man, that's annoying. I really like that show. I love Claire Huxtable.
Well, I guess she was still cool. Anyway, so that's what I got.
Yeah. So craziness. I mean, well, I wonder why they don't touch on any of that. You know what I mean? In like the school, because some of I was all over the place with my sources, like history. Like I used like history.com, and I used a couple teacher sources because they did really good breaking the dates and what happened into an easier, more manageable timeline, because I can get carried away taking notes. And I started saying all that, and I don't know what I was gonna say. Sometimes I give too many details to my story, and then I forget the important part. So that's just who I am.
Oh, fuck. I forget his name. You know, they should make a movie about Christopher Columbus, like what really happened, and like be real graphic about it. And you should play Christopher Columbus is, you ever watch Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
The Jew hunter?
I don't know
Christoph Waltz.
Names.
That's his name.
I was going to say, I don't know people's names like that.
Oh, yeah. The guy at the beginning who let Shoshana go. Screams, "Au revoir, Shoshana," as she's running across the field. No? You don't remember? That guy.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that guy. He should play him. I think he'd make a great Christopher Columbus, probably.
All right. Fair enough. I do think there should be a little more factual learning about him, because I don't ever remember learning in school that he was a prick.
No.
Like, why is he so glorified? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they took this unrealistic propaganda and integrated it into our schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's fact, and it's like all of it is like everything we learned about Christopher Columbus is wrong. Hey, so we're re-recording the end of the show that we recorded on Monday because we just have audio problems and shit. So what was the last thing we were talking about? Oh yeah, Christopher Columbus in schools. Yeah, so
the sugar-coated shit.
You know, he's a hero. Yeah, he's a hero for some fucking reason. Well, we know why. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that was our Christopher Columbus episode.
Woohoo!
Thank you everybody for listening. It was fun.
Yeah.
If you want to tell us about how awesome and fun it was, Katie, where would you write us?
You could send us an email at highermindspodcast@gmail.com, or our Facebook, Higher Minds Podcast, or Instagram, same thing. And I think you can do it on Twitter, but I'm not sure what that's called. And yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
Tell us about how much you hate Christopher Columbus too.
Yeah, there's a lot of reason why. I understand that he was the type to like fall asleep on airplanes and drool on people, so there's that complaint. Yeah.
He sits on a throne of lies.
Yeah.
That's another Elf reference for your favorite movie.
He'd go to over his... Oh, yeah, we were talking about Elf.
I remembered.
He's the type that would like go over to his friend's house and takes his shoes and socks off and just like toss his socks over in the corner and just leave them there.
Gross. Socks are so gross.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, so this has been the Higher Minds podcast. I am Papa Darby.
And I'm Katie.
Cheers.
Bye.